Hello and welcome. I am Gimba Umar. Tonight, Court of Appeal in Abuja adjourns judgment in the Ondo PDP governorship candidacy tussle indefinitely, following motion filed in the Supreme Court seeking the disqualification of the appeal court panel. INEC rules out postponement of Ondo governorship election, says November the 26th remains the date for the poll. President Muhammadu Buhari calls for transparency in the management of Nigeria's oil and gas resources as he inaugurates the boards of 3 parastatals in the Ministry of Petroleum. Over 50 people killed in Mozambique as fuel tanker explodes in the western part of the city.
On business news tonight, the Monetary Policy Committee set to hold final meeting of the year end next week in Nigeria's economic recovery in focus.
And on sports news tonight, Andy Murray secures passage to the semi-finals of the ATP World Tour Finals for the first time in 4 years with victory over Stan Wawrinka.
Hello, I'm Ibrahim Adra, and from Abuja, 6 people killed in multiple explosions as police stop suicide bombers from accessing public facilities in Maiduguri, Borno State.
We begin tonight in Abuja, where the Court of Appeal has adjourned judgment in the Ondo PDP governorship candidacy tussle indefinitely. The judgment slated for delivery today was put off by Justice Ibrahim Solawa following a motion filed by the Supreme Court by the Ali Modu Sharif faction of the PDP asking the court's panel to disqualify itself. In the motion served on the panel at about 7:30 p.m. last night, factional chairman of the party in Ondo State, Prince Biyi Poroye, accused the 3 justices of betraying their oath of office. He alleged that they have refused to be bound by their own earlier orders. Justice Solawa, however, described the motion as politically motivated and diabolical. He said the panel was put in place on a rescue mission when the Justice Jammai Sankei-led panel threw in the towel following accusations of bias and bribery.
Just want to say that this is a very sad, tragic, and most unfortunate development. The reality is that everything is now crystal clear that the respondents who had all along done everything to ensure that the speedy and expeditious hearing and determination of the appeals were truncated have succeeded. So the tragedy here is that the judiciary of this country is on trial. And it is the justice of this situation, it is the justice of the cases that has been the very worst for it. The reality is very clear to any discerning mind that the respondents were all along minded to scuttle, to truncate, to frustrate the hearing of the appeals. Unfortunately, they have succeeded in doing that for now, but it is hopeful that by the grace of God Almighty, we will get the matter to be decided one way or the other at the Supreme Court, and God willing, justice, and I want to emphasize justice, shall still prevail.
The rules provide that once an appeal has been entered, the condition is that has the appeal been entered. Once an appeal is entered, what happens is that the court below must hands off the matter and wait for the decision of the upper court before it can take any decision. And that is exactly what they have done today. So it's you people that don't understand the law, they don't understand the judiciary, they think it's being used or abused. But no, the law is fair to all. The law is impartial. The law is actually blind. It doesn't see, it doesn't favor.
Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says that there is no going back on the date for the Ondo State governorship elections that has been scheduled for November 26, 2016. The Commission's Director for Election Monitoring, Mr. Balashitu, gave the assurance at a conference with elections observer groups in Abuja. According to him, INEC is ready for the conduct of the elections as scheduled, having done its risk assessment for the state.
Of course, we have 28 candidates, so we cannot do.
I quite agree that the issue of postponement must be played down, but we cannot you cannot say you cannot talk about it. But the position of the Commission is that, yes, there will be that stakeholders, as raised by Kazim, is going to take place in Ondo, is going to take place in Ido. The importance of that really is for the Commission and all the necessary stakeholders to have one final general meeting in order to ensure reassurance of readiness, reassurance of preparedness, and then raised and ensure also silent questions will be answered. The position of the Commission is that it has been ready, that it has been on course and has been prepared for this election. We have what we call a risk assessment that the Commission has done, the risk mapping of the whole of Ondo State, where almost every aspect, those prone areas that are prone to violence and the nature of violence and so on have been done toward ensuring that such areas are adequately prepared for.
We'll have more on the Ondo State elections in the course of this broadcast. In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has inaugurated the boards of 3 parastatals in the Ministry of Petroleum, with a charge to the members to ensure transparency and integrity in the management of resources from the oil and gas sector, the major revenue earner of the country. The boards are those of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the Nigerian Content Development and Management Board, and the Nigerian Nuclear Regulatory Authority. Chukwuma Onokusi now reports.
Oil-producing countries of the world have badly been hit by the misfortunes in the oil industry, and Nigeria is one of them. This misfortune in the sector has led to dwindling revenue generation for the government. The president is optimistic that the board he is here to inaugurate will assist his administration to turn the situation around. He says they will do this by offering expert advice to the Ministry of Petroleum Resources.
Oil and gas are the country's foreign exchange earners. Therefore, the importance of these boards cannot be overemphasized. Your job should be to ensure propriety in management of these most vital national institutions. You should advise the minister and the corporation's management on the most effective way for Nigeria to get value for money from our assets.
The boards inaugurated include those of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the Nigerian Content Management Development Board, and the Nigerian Nuclear Regulations Agency. The Minister of State for Petroleum is the chairman of the boards.
We assure you that the people you have appointed are competent, experienced, devoted, and nationalistic, and we'll do the very best we can to reduce the labor on your shoulders in terms of the management and steer of these institutions.
Executive Secretary of the Nigeria Content Development and Management Board and his counterpart in the Nigerian Nuclear Regulation Agency assure of full participation of Nigerians in the industry.
A new challenge has been given to the board to take Nigerian content to the next level, enable Nigerians participate actively in the oil and gas sector, transfer the needed know-how to ensure that as Nigerians we are the ones responsible in moving the oil and gas sector to the next level.
The Nigerian Nuclear Regulatory Authority, as the name sounds, is a regulatory agency. It's charged with the responsibility of protecting the people of Nigeria from the harmful effect of ionizing radiation. This is the main job we have to do, to protect the health of people and to protect the environment.
President Muhammadu Buhari and his team had once said that oil brought Nigeria into recession, and it is oil that will pull the country out of recession. Chukwuma Onokusi, Channels Television News.
Following yesterday's protest by supporters of the All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, The State House of Assembly has condemned the role of some police officers in the incident. After a 2-hour debate on the matter, the 19-member House passed a resolution calling on the Inspector General of Police to immediately transfer the 2 officers that supervised the protest out of the state. The Speaker of the House, Adams Baroto-Ridima, addressed journalists on the need for the action to be taken urgently.
Recent vicious assault on government officials, media practitioners in Rivers State and members of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, going about the lawful businesses and carrying out their civic responsibilities to the government and people of the state is one repulsive pointer to the repugnancy of the federal government to Rivers State. The ACP operation, Mr. Stephen Hassan, has been redeployed from the state since September 2016, but has either refused to leave the state or has been made to stay by the powers that be. I call on the Inspector General of Police to, with reasonable urgency, implement or order the implementation of the redeployment of Mr. Stephen Hassan and cause the transfer of Mr. Aken Fakorode. This call is now necessary because the continuous stay of this duo in Rivers State portends grave danger.
You're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, live from Lagos. Let's quickly go on to our Abuja studios now, where Ibrahim Adra is standing by to take us through.
The police in Borno State have confirmed the death of 6 persons in multiple explosions in the state capital, Maiduguri. The police said 4 of the victims were Boko Haram suicide bombers, while 2 were members of the local vigilante called civilian JTF. The 6 were killed in the morning blasts that occurred in the 3 different locations in Maiduguri. Hours after 2 suicide bombers detonated their explosives, killing themselves at a security checkpost near a federal high court complex in Jidari Polo, a suburb of Maiduguri. 2 more explosions were heard from the eastern flank of the city. The Borno State Commissioner of Police, Damian Chukwu, confirmed to journalists at a press briefing that a suicide bomber tried to enter Muna Garage, a usually crowded bus station, but later detonated the explosive at the gate, killing himself. A 3rd blast took place a few meters away near the city's entrance gate, where security personnel mounted a checkpost. 2 operatives of the civilian JTF were killed alongside the suicide bomber. Staying on matters of security, the Kano State Police Command has intercepted a truck carrying some dangerous items allegedly belonging to members of the Islamic movement of Nigeria. The items include cutlasses, catapults and other materials which the police say are illegal. A spokesman of the State Command, Magaji Majia, said the truck was intercepted on its way from Potiskum in Yobe State to Zaria, Kaduna State. Just days ago, members of the movement clashed with the police in Kano, leading to the death of 8 people, including 1 policeman, with 3 others injured. Meanwhile, the UN Special Envoy on West Africa, Mohamed Ibn Chambers, is urging the international community to scale up humanitarian aid to Nigeria's northeast. According to him, Nigeria's humanitarian crisis arising from the terrorism in Lake Chad Basin deserves much attention and intervention as other crises around the world. The UN envoy said this during a meeting with the Minister of Information, who acknowledged that Nigeria cannot tackle the challenge alone.